Nihilism Demystified, your essential guide to understanding nothingness. Hey there, curious minds and philosophy enthusiasts. Have you ever heard the term nihilism thrown around in a conversation, or perhaps seen it in a meme and wondered what it's all about? Well, you're in the right place. Today we're going to break down the concept of nihilism in a way that's easy to understand, even if you're just dipping your toes into the world of philosophy. By the end of this post, you'll have a solid grasp of this intriguing, yet often misunderstood idea. What is nihilism? Nihilism is the idea that life doesn't really have any built-in meaning, purpose, or value. It might sound sad, but it's more complicated than that. It's not just about saying nothing has meaning. It's about really thinking about the beliefs we base our lives on. You might be asking, why would anyone think like this? Well, it's about wanting to see things for how they really are. No fluff, just the truth. For some people, thinking this way can feel freeing, but for others, it can be pretty scary and depressing to deal with. Historical roots of nihilism. Nihilism isn't a new kid on the block. It has roots that stretch back to ancient times. Let's take a brief stroll down history lane. Early influences. Nihilism started a long time ago with ancient Greek thinkers who doubted if we could really know anything for sure. But it wasn't until the 19th century that nihilism became its own clear idea. When we talk about nihilism, Friedrich Nietzsche is the guy you usually hear about. He didn't create nihilism, but he thought a lot about what it means. He said, God is dead, which means that as fewer people believe in religion, we might struggle to find meaning in life. For Nietzsche, nihilism was like a double-edged sword. It could be scary because everything feels pointless, but it also gives us a chance to make new values when the old ones don't work anymore. In the 1860s, Russia had a political movement called nihilism. This movement wanted to tear down the old ways of doing things and change society. It wasn't just about big ideas or beliefs. It was about taking action to make things better. People felt that the system was corrupt and not moving forward, so they wanted to completely change everything. Types of nihilism. Nihilism isn't a one-size-fits-all philosophy. It comes in various flavors, each with its own focus and implications. Let's break down the main types. Existential nihilism. Existential nihilism is a way of thinking that says life doesn't have any real meaning or purpose. It suggests that the universe doesn't really care about us. Depending on how you look at it, this idea can make you feel really sad or set you free. Epistemological nihilism. Epistemological nihilism is the idea that we can't really know anything for sure. It makes us question what we think we know about knowledge and truth. This kind of thinking challenges the basics of science and philosophy, making us rethink our understanding of the world. Moral nihilism. Moral nihilism, or ethical nihilism, is the idea that there are no real moral values that everyone can agree on. It says that what we think is right or wrong is just something humans made up, and it doesn't come from any real truth. This idea can stir up a lot of debates because it goes against what many people believe about right and wrong. Political nihilism. Political nihilism isn't just about thinking deep thoughts. It's about taking big actions. It wants to tear down the current rules and systems in society and push for big changes. This idea was really popular in Russia back in the 1800s, as I mentioned before. Common misconceptions about nihilism. Nihilism often gets a bad rap, partly due to misunderstandings and misrepresentations. Let's clear up a few common misconceptions. Nihilism is purely negative. Nihilism means letting go of some beliefs, but it's not all bad. Many nihilists feel free and strong because they believe we don't have to stick to set meanings or values. This idea lets us make our own meaning and purpose in life. Nihilists are depressed. Not necessarily. While existential nihilism can lead to feelings of despair, many nihilists find ways to cope with or even thrive in the face of meaninglessness. Some turn to creativity, personal relationships, or the pursuit of knowledge to fill the void. Nihilism equals anarchy. Political nihilism wants to break down current systems, but not all nihilists are anarchists. Basically, nihilism is about asking questions and challenging the rules instead of just creating chaos. Real-world applications of nihilism. You might be thinking, this is all very interesting, but how does nihilism apply to my everyday life? Great question. Let's explore some practical ways nihilism can influence our daily existence. Personal growth. Nihilism encourages us to question our beliefs and assumptions. This can lead to personal growth as we strip away illusions and confront reality. By acknowledging the lack of inherent meaning, we gain the freedom to create our own values and purpose. Creativity. A lot of artists, writers, and musicians get inspired by ideas that say life has no real meaning. When you ignore regular rules, you can find new ways to be creative. For example, think about surrealists or writers like Albert Camus and Jean-Paul Sartre. They talked about how life can feel silly and pointless in their stories. Resilience. Facing the idea that life may not have inherent meaning can be daunting, but it can also build resilience. When we accept that suffering and uncertainty are part of the human condition, we become better equipped to handle life's challenges. It's about finding strength in the void. How to navigate nihilism. If you're intrigued by nihilism but unsure how to incorporate it into your life without falling into despair, here are some tips. Find your own meaning. Just because life lacks inherent meaning doesn't mean you can't create your own. Whether it's through relationships, hobbies, or personal goals, find what gives your life purpose and invest in it wholeheartedly. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness can help you stay grounded in the present moment, reducing anxiety about the future or regrets about the past. It encourages acceptance of reality as it is, which aligns well with nihilistic thought. Connect with others. While nihilism emphasizes individual experience, that doesn't mean you have to go it alone. Connect with like-minded individuals or explore online communities where you can discuss and share your thoughts on nihilism and other philosophical topics. Famous nihilists and their contributions. Several prominent figures have been associated with nihilism, each contributing to its development and understanding in unique ways. Let's take a closer look at a few. Friedrich Nietzsche. We've already mentioned Nietzsche, but he's worth another shout-out. His exploration of nihilism and the will to power has had a lasting impact on philosophy, literature, and even psychology. Albert Camus, though often associated with existentialism, also explored nihilistic themes. His concept of the absurd, the conflict between our desire for meaning and the indifferent universe, resonates with nihilistic thought. His novel The Stranger is a must-read for anyone interested in these ideas. Arthur Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer's pessimistic philosophy aligns closely with nihilism. He viewed human desires as ultimately futile, leading to inevitable suffering. His work laid the groundwork for later existentialist and nihilistic thinkers. Conclusion. Understanding nihilism can be a powerful tool for navigating the complexities of modern life. By questioning the foundations of our beliefs and values, we gain the freedom to create our own meaning and purpose. Whether you're a philosophy enthusiast or just someone curious about the big questions, exploring nihilism can offer new perspectives and insights. Remember, it's not about adopting a bleak outlook on life. Instead, it's about facing reality head-on, questioning assumptions, and finding empowerment in the freedom to define your own path. If you're interested in learning more, there are plenty of resources available. Books by Nietzsche, Camus, and Schopenhauer are great starting points.